As a crossdresser, I live and breathe crossdressing. I cross-dress to some degree every single day. I always wear leggings, pantyhose around the house. Even when I don't do my full makeup, I do wear something feminine, so there is no mistaken the fact that I am indeed a crossdresser. As such, my fantasies and ideations about this activity are probably quite a bit different from the mainstream. But I did run a bit of a research, and I uncovered the top 5 most frequent cross-dressing fantasies according to me and what I could find out there. Now this countdown does not, this list of mine does not have any kind of stuff, does not carry any kind of scientific weight or substance. It's just a little bit of a foray into this world of cross-dressing fantasies that I find so fascinating, and that probably you too will find interesting. So here's my list. Number 1, the glamorous makeover. Now, doing my makeup is an activity that I find extremely exciting and interesting. It is a process of gradually revealing, sculpting and shaping beauty. It is to me as fascinating as watching a time-lapse of the ugly caterpillar turning into a gorgeous, beautiful butterfly. It is the very essence of transformation, and as such I can definitely understand the people who have such fantasies about cross-dressing. This sort of excitement of the gradual revelation of the beauty that resides inside, I suppose, its excitement is never lost on me. So I absolutely love this facet, and I can resonate with this kind of a mainstream cross-dressing fantasy. The excitement inherent in the risk of getting caught. All you gotta do is run a quick search here on YouTube, and you will find countless videos of cross-dressers talking about times when they got caught cross-dressing and when they were found out. I myself have a couple of such videos, although mine carry a little bit of a different tinge to them. Now then, I can definitely understand that this risk, this sort of danger of being caught does induce an adrenaline rush. But to me, I personally dread getting caught and exposed when I don't want to, even by strangers. So this is not something for me that I would ever elevate to the degree of a fantasy, to the level of a fantasy. I do recognize that there's definitely an adrenaline rush aspect to it, but since it stems out of fear and dread, it is not something that I would qualify as positive and would recognize as something that I would actively search for. It's a kind of a kick that I would actively search for. Whenever you cross-dress, you assume certain risks and you face certain dangers. As you have probably seen in my previous videos, I talk about these dangers in detail. And there is definitely a sort of an adventurous kind of risk assumption associated with it all. And many people do indeed like this and do indeed fantasize about cross-dressing and then getting caught. Number 3. Forbidden public exposure. Now, going out in public cross-dressed is a delicate sort of balancing act as far as I'm concerned, because on the one hand I do like to go and present as a female in public. I do enjoy the idea, so I definitely do understand where these fantasies come from. But on the other, I dread being clocked, and in order to avoid that, I would have to pass, and that, in my current shape, is I find it quite impossible because I'm really tall. So even if I would pass otherwise, I mean, I know many of you do tell me in the comments that, oh my gosh, you do pass, and I have no idea why you think you don't. If you saw me in person, you would understand. I'm 6'1" without these heels on, and with them on, it's like an entirely different dimension. And even if I did lose the heels completely, I am, by the way, planning on going out again soon. And I do plan on wearing wrestling type boots for this sort of venture in order to minimize my height. Because if you saw me like this outdoors, immediately, even if I was like far away from you, like football field's distance away from you, you would notice me because I draw attention being this tall and lanky and feminine. All right, so what kind of female could that possibly be? Everybody takes a look at it, takes a second glance, and as a crossdresser, you do not want to attract additional sort of attention and scrutiny, because as soon as people start analyzing you, they realize you're a crossdresser, they clock you, especially on the level that I am at. So yeah, I do understand this fantasy, and it's great, and I do have it myself, and I do like going out. Do like the idea, let's say, of going out cross-dressed. I'm very much afraid of being clocked, and the adrenaline, again, that results from this kind of activity comes from a negative place, and as such I am not all too fond of it. Being forced to cross-dress. Many people like the idea of gradual loss of control and then eventually complete surrender to a dominant partner's caprices. Now, and many people have this fantasy of having a dominant partner who forces them to cross-dress and shows off the result. Now then, on my part, I really hate coercion and compulsion, and I especially loathe the blackmail aspects that they're often part of these fantasies as well. So no, I guess it's safe to say that I will not make this fantasy mine, although I do understand why the people have it, and what they find appealing about it. Number 5, however, is definitely a fantasy that I will make mine. It is going out cross-dressed in public to a safe place. Now, I've always had this fantasy of heading out with a friend or two, also cross-dressed, to a trans bar or a drag venue or a cross-dresser friendly establishment, and have fun there for hours on end, including everything that this might entail. And that covers admirers and all that. Now, one thing that I would never indulge in are drinks. Now, I would never actually force somebody to buy me a drink or expect someone to buy me a drink, simply because of the fact that I don't drink alcohol. I have a mild alcohol intolerance, and you know, I sort of try to steer clear of that side of the nightlife fun spectrum. So going out in public like this is something I would absolutely love to do. Unfortunately, where I live these days, there aren't any such venues that I know of. But if there were any, you could bet that I would, you could bet good money that I would show up there sooner or later. And if I ever get the chance, I will definitely do it. This is something that I have on my bucket list as a crossdresser, my crossdressing bucket list. So what are your crossdressing related fantasies, guys? Please do let me know in the comments. What I do firmly believe is that your dreams say a lot about what you fantasize about, and what these fantasies, they're quite relevant to what your actual cross-dressing fantasies are. Now, I find it extremely frustrating that I seldom ever dream about me being cross-dressed, and when I do, it's often with negative connotations. Now, what do I mean by that? This one time I dreamt about me being out in a bus, taking a bus ride somewhere. The bus was full of people, and I was wearing these gorgeous shiny leggings, and I had makeup on and all that jazz, and I felt absolutely dreadful. I feared for my life, and feared being clocked, and as a matter of fact, this fear turned so intense that I actually woke up at one point because of it. Now then, those of you who know me also know that my cross-dressing is closely tied to my passion for women's professional wrestling, women's wrestling in general, and as it used to be one of my, as it was one of my early cross-dressing triggers, and sometimes my dreams do entail this wrestling aspect. And one time I remember having dreamt about getting ready. I was all ready, I was all cross-dressed, I had my hose on, my boots, my knee pads, and you know, my shiny bathing suit on in place. I was doing my makeup, and I remember I was supposed to wrestle Heidi Lovelace, independent wrestler. She used to work for the WWE too under a different name, Ruby something, and Ruby Soho, I think. and I have no idea why it was her. I was supposed to wrestle her, I remember that. She wasn't present, but I knew that I had to go out there in the ring and face her. And I was walking out, and as I was walking out, I kind of remember, dude, I don't have an actual training, and what happens if I, by mistake dropped her on her head and hurt her? And I got so scared, and the jitters just overtook me, and I just woke up again. On the other hand, I sometimes also have positive dreams about cross-dressing and wrestling. I remember that once I had a dream about me being in an amateur mat wrestling tournament or show, and I was supposed to wrestle Mutiny. If you're familiar with women's wrestling, so you probably do know her. French-Canadian beauty wrestler. And she came over and she was like, come on, hurry up, we're up next. And I was like, oh yeah, this is really something that I can get into, because there was nothing negative about it. It was mat-based wrestling, with which I'm quite familiar, and it was with a person with whom I was rather familiar in the sense that I knew her. I had known her beforehand. So I even, exchanged a few niceties with her over social media. But yeah, so that's a proper example of a positive cross-dressing fantasy of mine involving female wrestling. Alright guys, so that is it for today. Please do let me know in the comments what your take is on this issue and what your fantasies are involving cross-dressing, if any. And you know the drill otherwise. Do follow me on here, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and check me out on different other forms of social media as well. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and please do hype my video. Now there's a new feature, and if you like my video, hit that like button, but you can also hype it and make it more visible for other people interested in these kind of things. All you gotta do is, if you're on a mobile device and you see the comment section under the video, you swipe left on it, and if you do, and you're eligible to use this feature, I believe, then it'll show up, the hype feature will show up, and all you gotta do is click a button basically to hype me and my videos. So thank you in advance for your likes and subscriptions and hypes. I always appreciate any kind of interaction. I will try my best to reply to your comments, especially if they are relevant. And yeah, until next time, see you around. Hasta luego.